This is where the suspect was taken into custody just a little bit before noon. The tree that came down actually took out a lamppost that was here and then landed on the cars that were parked right about where we're standing. One of those cars is still here. This Mercedes. But when they arrived, they talked to him a little bit, and they're actually just going to give him a ride home. She's still not sure how she's planning to get to El Salvador, but says it's certainly a lot closer than Tijuana. Our atmosphere is dominated by this high pressure sitting over Southern California, but keep your eye on this low pressure off the coast of Alaska. So expect you're going to have to go to the fuel pump every now and then, and you might notice that the prices are going to remain high, like this station, where we're seeing gas at about $4.20 a gallon.
Last year, more than 2,000 people were murdered in Tijuana. In this special report, News 8's Brandon Lewis goes beyond the border for a ride-along with Tijuana officers responsible for policing the violent city.
Tijuana was called the most dangerous city in the world. More than 2,000 people were murdered here last year. Officer Jorge Garcia Palomo supervises 80 officers tasked with keeping Zona Rio safe.
Since I do this every day, I've noticed things have gotten better.
We ride with Palomo as he patrols the city streets. He says his most frequent issue is drivers without seatbelts and talking on their phones.
What are you looking for when you're driving on this street?
This is an area where we have to drive a little slower, make sure things are okay outside the businesses.
Soon he pulls over as we walk the beat.
I like all of it. I was born here. I was raised here. All my family lives here. I love Tijuana. It does make me sad when people say this is the most dangerous city in the world.
As we're walking, we notice officers and medics helping a woman on a nearby corner and go see what's happening.
So he was just telling us that this was a person that needed help. They mixed something in their beer and had a pill, and so they're just working to give her the medical attention that they need.
Palomo stresses the department is working hard to improve its image as an agency dedicated to helping those they protect.
It's my brother, it's my husband, my amigo.
We bump into these Americans as we walked back to the car.
#1 police is Tijuana police.
Why you say that? Yeah.
I say that because they help everybody. They respect everybody. They help and respect, but they do their job. The law is the law in Tijuana. They do their job. But they help everybody.
Tijuana is also pushing back as its designation as the most dangerous city, saying homicides are down 34% in the first 2 months of the year. Overall, crime is down 40% since 2008, citing the recent arrest of nearly 4,000 low-level drug dealers.
Our two objectives. The first is for people to have trust in us and feel safe. We want to gain the trust of the community.
As our ride comes to an end, Palomo overhears a call and hits the siren. It turns out to be less urgent than expected.
So this came in as a person who was disoriented on a bus. Now, we don't see a bus anywhere around here, but when they arrived, they talked to him a little bit, and they're actually just going to give him a ride home.
We later learned the man called 911 on himself. Palomo wasn't upset, again stressing the care his department has for the community.
I would say don't be afraid. I invite you to come to Tijuana. Here in this zone, there are great places to eat, places to have fun, and you should always feel safe here at the end of the day. If you're a tourist, nothing will happen to you.
And most don't seem deterred.
Tijuana is the most safest city there is.
The number of Americans visiting Mexico was up 12% in 2017. Reporting from Tijuana, Brandon Lewis, News 8.
Our coverage beyond the border continues tomorrow night when we show you how some San Diegans are saving money on veterinary care in Tijuana. That's tomorrow on News 8 at 11. 13 tons of cocaine stopped from ever hitting our streets is offloaded here in San Diego.
We're also getting a look at what went down at sea. The accused smugglers can be seen on video throwing bales of cocaine overboard as the Coast Guard closed in.
News 8's Brandon Lewis is live at the Embarcadero with details. Brandon?
Now, that cocaine is worth more than $350 million on the street. It was offloaded from the Coast Guard cutter that is still calling port here in San Diego after offloading more than 26,000 pounds of cocaine earlier this morning. These alleged drug smugglers hurled off an estimated $1 million with every large bundle tossed overboard. They were being tracked by the Coast Guard cutter Steadfast, trying to bring thousands of pounds of cocaine to the United States.
Each kilogram of cocaine that we take off of these drug boats, we're taking money out of the pockets of these cartels. So even though it might not seem like a lot in the big picture,
the bundles represent a changing tide in the flow of drugs, as cartels shift smuggling routes from the Caribbean to Pacific Ocean.
and we're seeing about 80% of the drug flow coming up from Central and South America is going through that region.
Some of the smaller bundles were only worth about $80,000. They managed to dump out drugs worth more than an estimated $10 million before guardsmen caught up with them. It's a race to recover the drugs, not only as evidence, but because the Coast Guard says those on board marked the locations with GPS so other members of the cartel can pick it up.
They are very sophisticated.
The Steadfast pulled into San Diego carrying about $353 million in drugs, all recovered between mid-June and mid-July, setting a new Coast Guard record.
This ship has beaten the record of any other Coast Guard cutter in the same class for any patrol it's ever had. And that's not bad for a ship that's 51 years old.
Yeah, and just last week, the Coast Guard also found a submarine in the Eastern Pacific, they say reflecting that changing tide as the cartels attempt to bring more cocaine through the Eastern Pacific Ocean. Coming up for you new at 6:30, we'll show you a little bit more of that video as they continue to offload those big bales of cocaine into the Pacific Ocean. For now, we'll send things back to you.
All right, Brandon, thanks.